The gift from the beer developed ionides but incurred mutinous behavior. Contact with Xenos endangered our effort. When we received news of an asteroid heading towards a primitive world, we knew not to repeat the same mistake. Fanatic xenophobic isolationists, the Andigonj, live on the tundra world of Gonj. They explore, exploit, expand, and endure. For a species that wanted nothing to do with the galaxy though sure had different plans. When Xenos picture us, they likely have a wrong image. It's the Shantari, our mediators, that they see. Serene Protector Surfi steps up in skill development agenda. Education becomes the focus on all Gonj worlds. There are no anomalies to research and no enemies to fight. Much still needs to be done to develop our scientists and admiralty. With the help of a police state, Ionides has recovered from insurgency and is successfully developing. Things have changed since Gonj was the indisputable leader in energy and minerals and culture. Several colonies have fully developed and eclipsed it. Lesson 3 has become an industrial giant it was meant to be. Nolian Prime is a leader in science, and Lumjiam produces double the energy and more than triple the unity output. Even the newer colonies have caught up. Kepler's production equals that of Gonj, and Ionides almost caught up in science. Gonj is still very important, of course, if not for the simple fact of its capital status. However, with other worlds as populated and as rich, the Andigonj Stellar Compact shifts to better serve their interests. We have become a truly interstellar nation. The primitives are in their space age and might develop into spacefaring civilization soon. Potentially dangerous, they sit too close of a proximity to Lumjiam, yet our isolationist nature prevents us from interfering. The asteroid solves this problem. Potentially dangerous Xenos will be destroyed and we will not have to move a finger. All is in order domestically, but elsewhere conflict is brimming.
Xenomongrels have declared war on each other.
Non-aggression pacts are broken, and devourers continue on towards the Finu Mandate. They swallow planets as we move, and they never stop moving. The Finu just happen to be in their way. Elsewhere, a truce is signed between Sigmog and the Habir hegemony. The Sigmog, weakened by previous double-pronged war, lost a couple of systems but held off yet another enemy. Despite the odds, they are formidable combatants and their martial might is not to be underestimated. The Xabri, meanwhile, seem to have played their ally. They've expanded rather easily, letting others to do the fighting. No doubt they meant to deliver a more fatal blow by involving us, but we do not make alliances with the Xenos. The Ikarzuri are now migrating en masse to whoever will take them. Minor advancements are no longer sufficient to improve our colonization efforts. Atmospheric filtering, on the other hand, can help improve habitability even on the most hostile of environments. The Gonj continue to expand by taming alien worlds. There's been a falling out between two previous allies. Perhaps stubborn Mandate no longer feels the need to have a little partner. Or perhaps it was inevitable that, once common threat was dealt with, the two would turn on each other. They know their tactics, admirals and ships very well. It would be an interesting conflict. Elsewhere there are more ideological and religious wars. The conflict between spiritual Drulper Fen Foundation and the materialistic hierarchy of Multics is one of the oldest ones. The hostilities are renewed every 10 years once the truce expires. There's been little progress in these wars. Perhaps this time will be different. The Ikarzuri are aiding in Finu absorption war. They signed this pact to protect themselves, but it's their protector that's now in trouble. We've made missiles into devastating weapons. Point defense systems have to keep up with the improvements. Star fortresses are now available for construction, and the construction will indeed begin shortly. For now, autocannons for our swarm ships are being developed. It's our secondary offensive weapon system that many our torpedo boats use.
We have claimed a new world for our people.
Colonization begins on Set 3. Cold and desolate, it will likely remain a fringe world. Still, habitability improves, and we can adapt these worlds to our needs. Finu Mandate representatives appear on Gatana station. Their proposal itself is easy to reject, it's their appearance that makes things interesting. Allied Josephine planets also offer a gift, but we have already learned from Xabir.
We have claimed a new world for our people.
Atlaba Prime is colonized. It's a small world with rather meager resources. Its only redeeming qualities are its central location, and since it's a tundra world, high habitability.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
An array of starports are upgraded. Nolion Station for its commercial purpose, Kepler Prime for its defensive purpose. Elsewhere the upgrades are coming as the resources become available. The focus is on improving commercial stations and reinforcing the Kepler line. Therefore Ruinam is next on the menu. Glacials have been very problematic on Dim Prime for a long time now. They cover half the surface of the planet and offer few benefits. We are now working on making that extra land available without harming the planet's ecology or affecting sea level rise. Focusing on our industrial base paid off. We have learned to process larger quantities of resources able to build at higher speeds. Observation posts we built on our start stations are now spotting the Kata Devourer fleets. The swarm is very experienced and it's unsettling to see. The citizens are unaware of a discrepancy, but it's the prime target of scrutiny at the higher levels of government. Our Admiralty has lost touch since the early days. The last of the old leaders has died. The Andigonj Stellar Compact is now fully under control of the second generation. Although they lack the skill of the masters, they still do okay in their leading roles. Fleet academies are being developed to better develop a junior officer corps. Finally, we can be cleared for Dim Prime's continued development. Set 3 also benefits from this new breakthrough. As the Devourers rampage through the galaxy, the nations they hate weaken militarily. They get attacked by their opportunistic neighbors. It's a very short-sighted view that leaves Bakata unchecked. One of the spiritual nations have attacked the Finu in order to impose their influence on them. Needless to say, it's very bad for the Finu Mandate. They're in the same situation that Ikarzuri was some 20 years ago. Their military might is holding off for now, but they are growing more and more enemies. Even the Tebran are involved on the good side. It's looking very grim with 3 empires against what's really only one.
Xeno mongrels have declared war on each other.
Doesn't take long for the plot to thicken. League of Midak strike the distracted Tebran Mandate. They must strike fast against their former allies before they can turn around and face them. The initial strike has to offer a decisive advantage. An asteroid impacts on Bottle's pantry, resulting in a complete extinction event. Where once was a primitive civilization, now lies a barren rock. These Xenos will never become a threat to us anymore.
We have mastered a new technology.
Not all of our ships can get in close and make use of autocannons, therefore advanced railgun research is also pursued. The Dakata are the most bloodthirsty enemy, and the Finu are focusing on holding them off in expense of defending from the Gurite theocracy, who have gained significant ground. The capital world becomes more and more threatened. They'll soon have to react to the Gurite advance. Siplum is a large tundra world with plenty of energy and is a welcome addition to our compact. We have already expanded to 10 planets and further efforts will be much more tempered. The Ikarzuri now also have a Finu Mandate to escape to in addition to allied Jazilan systems. It's fortunate for them they got close to the Finu, elsewise they'd have nowhere to escape to. Gurite theocracy is very close now, and the Tebran also controls some systems. The homeworld is now threatened and they have to push back. Elsewhere, League of Midak has made some progress with their preemptive strike. They've split the empire in two. However, it's not a very ambitious plan. Their militaristic nature perhaps makes them a little bit too methodical. They're trying to deny resources to the Tebran, cutting off important systems instead of going after their homeworlds and trying to deliver a death blow. Drulperfen Foundation has done the same to the Multics. They've cut the Commonwealth in half and are having an easy time taking systems cut off from the homeworld. It's not to say that the Multics aren't resisting, but their efforts are uncoordinated. An infectious disease of Xeno origin starts rampaging on Siplum Prime. It's not an unusual problem for a Gonj to be exposed to an alien virus, however it's happening on an unprecedented scale. Our genetic research has advanced considerably. We'll try tackling this problem. It seems every other Gonj is infected. The clinic finds treatment for one group of Gonj. Fortunately, the plague is on such a mass scale we aren't able to cure everyone. The emergency clinic works well, but it's overloaded. The disease is so rampant, there isn't even enough time to ask for help from Gonj or Vumjiam. The patients keep coming in, but we're fighting the virus effectively. 3 months after the outbreak, the plague is contained. About a third of the young planet's population has perished, though. It leaves a mark the planet will never forget. A plague memorial is built on Siplum. Further advancements are being made in environment adaptation. There still are some good worlds out there, but we're not quite ready for them yet. The flanking maneuver by the Fine Foundation forces Multics into a surrender. They concede little but valuable territory, and it's not just minerals we're talking about. The split is very strategic, making things very hard for them in the future. Same might happen again in subsequent war. And the conflict in this sector never ends. More advanced torpedo designs are being pursued. No one can match the Andigonj in their missile technology. There are still primitives in our territory, but they are industrial age. A footnote. Siblem is recovering, better than ever. Against all odds, the Finu have stopped Vedakata. They've protected their homeworld and even managed to halt progress from their spiritual enemies. This was with indirect help from League of Midak, whose offensive is now gaining momentum. They too now have to worry about defending their worlds. It's interesting the way that politics sometimes plays out. Vedakata attacked the Finu and made them a target. In turn, League of Midak attacked the attackers, reaping the benefits so far.
Our ships have been upgraded.
We shall not underestimate them. The Ikarzuri Foundation has been destroyed. They've tried to balance with alliances between their new neighbors, but ended up in crossfire again. Their territory is split between the Vakata and the Uri Imperium. The democracy of Aleph Jazuvan planets makes a deal with Imperium. How short-sighted can they be? At first chance, the Imperium will turn on them again. So far, the Imperium has been very quiet and peaceful. They know they need their strength against the Vakata. Serene Protector Surfer has a different primary agenda, but just like the last Serene Protector, she does not forget the secondary focus. Prosperity ensures our protection. Adaptation technology is finished. And colonization preparation for a world ravaged by storms and thunderous weather now begins. The Gonj are known to be adaptive, but it's our biggest test yet.